Welcome back
this
to.
This is not worse than what I have.
Welcome back
in my room right now.
to
Are
dirty room gaming.
The lobster says to clean your room.
He's over there.
You have a lobster? Oh, you do have a lobster.
You didn't know I have a lobster?
Oh no, I wasn't talking about your lobster.
Oh! I don't know what that means. Ah! Hey, we're back to Shion being bitch made.
Oh hey, I have Jack Darlington's email now.
You should email him.
Should.
Send him an email.
Send him
an email.
Send him an email from my personal email, which is like my name and at last name.
Yeah. Send him an email. Deadass. Tell him hello. But
Just-
wink at him seductively.
Just send him a picture of your face.
Yeah. He'll know. I woke up. My memories were missing. I couldn't remember how I got back to my room. I held my head with both hands. My left hand was bandaged. The fingers that had their nails removed had swollen like hot dogs. I'd paid with those 3 fingernails for what I did. The hag had said something after the punishment, but I didn't remember anything of it. I was taken to a hospital in Okinomiya. The cars shook on the way, adding extra pain on top of what I already felt. Somebody gave me some aspirin.
It's not. I mean, it's not great. But, you know, you gotta do it. It'll help a little. Surely. They work just like they said on TV. Getting your fingernails ripped off, and they said like, oh, here's an aspirin. You're so family, you know.
You're like a Yakuza guy, right? You're like a low-level grunt. You've just ripped this girl's fingernails off, and you're driving her to the hospital, and she's just like, and like sobbing in the background, and just like Danny DeVito, you go, may I offer you an aspirin in these trying times?
I feel like if I was a Yakuza grunt and I had to fucking pull this girl's fingernails off, I'd be like, okay, let me see if I can help you a little bit. I'm not exactly happy about doing this.
Oh, that's funny, man. Somebody gave me an aspirin.
Do them on
Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
They work just like they said on TV. But they didn't last more than 10 minutes. I swallowed the pills without water. While I was spacing out in the waiting lounge. Wow!
Outed.
Kasai showed up. Oh, thank God. He probably came to check if I was alright. I obviously wasn't. He must have understood that from my bandaged left arm dangling from my shoulder. Kasai, on the other hand, looked just fine. At least on the outside. I was relieved that my sacrifice had meant something.
Alright, let's see if I can... Well, actually, he didn't say anything yet.
Kasai didn't say anything. He's just randomly like schizo mumbling to himself.
Well, I was trying to get ready for the voice, huh?
You think he gave her the aspirin? Like spiritually?
He just showed up.
No, like spiritually. You think Kasai showed up and was like, hey, Shion, here's an aspirin.
Which one of these do you think gave her the aspirin?
Definitely him.
Not
That guy looks like he would pretend to give her aspirin and roofie her.
Damn.
I couldn't tell if he wanted to tell me something or not, because he looked so emotionless. Kasai.
Let's see if I can remember how to do his voice, because I didn't last time.
Kasai Gaming.
It's kind of. I think it was in the back of the mouth, but emotionless.
Emotionless Kasai.
Yes.
Huge. He paused shortly before answering. I could tell he was upset. I didn't regret revealing my true identity in order to protect Satoshi-kun, but I hadn't wanted Kasai or Uncle Yoshiro to be hurt. I had been contradicting myself. Do you know how Uncle Yoshiro is doing?
No. I'm sure he's alright, because he's strong. Even so, jeez, I don't know where I need to re-listen to my fucking prompt.
But
I'm sure he's alright. Guess he's strong, even so. You should apologize to him.
sorry, talking about smoking nicotine.
True.
Okay. I wanted to ask about Satoshi-kun too. I wonder if he was captured or harassed by the Sonozaki family because of me. But I was hesitant to ask Kasai. After all, I'd chosen Satoshi-kun over them. Was Satoshi-kun alright? I hoped he wouldn't get caught or incarcerated somewhere. I paid the hospital bill, and Kasai gave me a ride home. I finally realized that somebody was knocking on my door.
Is that a nurse?
Yeah, it's
No.
Kasai.
Shion-san, it's not healthy to sleep so much.
It was Kasai. He put some side dishes on the table and we started nibbling at them.
Au contraire, it's Kasai. I think a lot of sleep is just fine for you. Coming from somebody who has no fucking sleep. How do you feel?
Depressed. Huh.
Have you been resting? Have you been eating?
I've been eating the stuff left in the fridge. Otherwise, I'd either been sleeping or staring at the ceiling. It had been 3 days. I'd just been lying down since then. I woke up every now and then in my shallow sleep, but I didn't feel like getting up or thinking. I felt like I'd just been floating the whole time. My appetite was gone, but it came back with the smell of the food Kasai brought. I wasn't able to think of anything to talk to Kasai about, so I ate silently.
I got a call from Mion-san yesterday. She was saying she called you a few times but never got through.
The moment I heard Mion's name, I felt my wounds throb. But I didn't stop Kasai, who continued.
Because you paid up, the family decided to close the matter. You will officially withdraw from St. Lucia's and transfer to a school in Okinomiya.
They're finally acknowledging my right to make my own decisions, huh?
Indeed. They said you could live as yourself now, under a few conditions. You will stay away from Hinamizawa. You won't pretend to be Mion Sonozaki. You won't show up in public places, and so on. This means...
In exchange for acknowledging me, they don't want me to hang around.
That's correct. Of course, this is only temporary, until things cool down. There's no set duration, but I think you should stay inconspicuous until at least the end of the year.
It'd be good enough just to live in Okinomiya quietly, the way it was before. Kasai put on a sad smile. I smiled back at him likewise. Before the conversation ended, I should ask him what I wanted to know. Man, how's Satoshi-kun doing? Man, Shion...
He's dead.
Well, yeah. But she doesn't, like, say sorry. She doesn't, like, give Kasai a hug. She doesn't, like, thank him. She doesn't, like, apologize.
Yeah, she hasn't seen...
No, she saw him at the
Kasai.
hospital. You lose all 3 nails for fucking up that hard. That's as soon as Kasai shows up, you just give that man a hug and go,
Yeah.
I'm so fucking sorry. And then Kasai would probably laugh and be like, yeah. And then that'd be the end of it. Like, Kasai's such a boy. You want to give me an anime Kasai? Huge. I wish that Kasai would assure me of his safety right away. But he didn't answer like that. Kasai, is he alright?
Shion-san.
Kasai put his chopsticks down.
The family wants you to forget about him.
What?
Shion-san, I don't want to get in an argument with you, so not go into the details. I'm only relaying to you what the family wants.
What are you talking about? What details, Kasai? So I was right. Kind of. Satoshi gets murked by the Sonozakis. Because yet again, the Sonozakis are the people that murk everyone on the day of the Watanagashi. Kasai pretended as though he didn't hear me and started eating again. I'd never seen him get so stubborn like this. The Sonozaki family had been using the Hojo family as a scapegoat. They must have concluded that a Sonozaki shouldn't be in love with a Hojo. I didn't like that. Sadako is a friend of Mion at school. Would it be okay if Satoshi and I were the same gender? Anyway, if I did something conspicuous again, they might do it to...
Do him for real.
They might do his mom for real. They might do something to him for real. Just like they forced me to remove my own fingernails. The Sonozaki family wouldn't hesitate. They'd torture him if need be. Maybe, if I really loved him, I should stay away. Satoshi-kun wouldn't show up in Okinomiya unless he rejoins the Hinamizawa fighters. I'd have to pretend to be Mion if I wanted to go to Hinamizawa, but I didn't think she'd cooperate with me. Even if she did, it'd be some time down the road. Even if they told me not to see him, I already had no means of doing that again. Oh wait, Mion gave me his number a little while ago. I could call him, and maybe ask to meet with him secretly. But if I got caught again, they wouldn't cut me any slack. Should I risk it? What the hell did I even want from Satoshi-kun? Kasai, can I be alone for a moment? Kasai started putting away his food in a rush, assuming that I wanted him to leave. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Take your time and finish your food. I just wanted to take a walk.
You can't lock this place up if I don't step out with you.
Kasai quickly put away his meal and followed me out. Just to be clear, I'm not going out to see Satoshi-kun, alright? Said Shion with a suspiciously Satoshi-kun shaped throat. You haven't seen that?
What?
You haven't seen that?
Seen what?
Oh no, I look crazy.
I mean, like she swallowed him? like the fork, like the spork got stuck in Squidward's mat?
Have you
throat?
not seen? So when the Queen of England died, there was a picture of Jay Schlatt, and it was like, no, I didn't kill the Queen of England, guys. What are you talking about? And then it's a Photoshop of him, and it's like Jay Schlatt with a suspiciously Queen of England shaped stomach. And he's like, no, guys, I didn't eat the Queen of England. I wouldn't do that. And then it turned into like a shitty Wojak for a little bit,
Oh my
where
God.
people would be like, oh, where's my bike? And it's bike? What bike? I don't know what you're talking about. And it'd be a Wojak with a literally just bike-shaped throat. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he'd be like suspiciously bike-shaped or suspiciously bike-shaped Jack. It was a little funny. It was a little funny one for a little bit. I see. That wasn't Kasai, bro. Why do you sound like... What happened?
I see.
I turned around and started walking.
Agreed.
Shion's sad.
Depressed. Idiot.
My destination was rather pathetic. It was the toy store that sold that giant teddy bear. I couldn't deny that I was somewhat expecting Satoshi-kun to pass by there. I couldn't stop myself from looking at the faces of passerbyers who resembled him. I was gonna say, if she's smart, she looks in to see the toy window to see if the toy's been sold or not, confirming whether or not Satoshi's okay. I looked into the store's window. The teddy bear was gone. He did it.
He did it.
Woo. Yeah, baby.
That meant he spent.
That's what I've been waiting for.
He spent all his savings
That's what it's
on
all
the
about.
teddy bear. Woo!
Woo. We harmonized for a second. I think we'd make a great boy band.
I'm not making a boy band with you.
Why not?
It's not happening.
Why not?
Well, I'm not gonna be in a boy band.
With me?
You can have your boy band. I'm not gonna.
You know what I did? You know what I did at practice on Tuesday?
What,
The
your boy?
Yeah. The face you made reminded me of it. So I'm standing there in line. We're doing Star Drama in line, and our vice president comes into practice, and he was like 5 minutes late. So I looked at him and I called out, and I was like, Clayton, there's that silly little guy. Where have you been? And I was like, you're late, you goober. And he just got the like biggest, most unapologetic smile I've ever seen on his face. And this goober just looked at me and was like, you know, hey Connor. And then went and put his stuff down. And then like, there was a point later on, he was coming into the line I was in, and I was like, oh my god, is that the most handsome guy on the team? And he just turned around, had the same look on his face. He was like, what up, cutie? And then he turned back around and kept walking. So I have a new gimmick I do whenever I see Clayton. I just look at him like, is that the little goofy guy himself? And he just like makes the most pure innocent face I've ever seen at me with this goofy ass smile.
That's a good one.
It's really fucking funny. This is the type of guy, he missed practice because he went on a date with his girlfriend, and he came back the next practice, and everyone was like, so Clayton, why'd you miss practice? And he was like, I was on a date. And everyone just started dying. And because our coaches knew, but like the players didn't. And our coach looked at him and was like, Clayton, well, everyone loves honesty. We really appreciate honesty. It's a great quality to have. He's like, there are some times when you lie. And he was like, missing practice because you're going on a date is one of those times when you lie and you say that you are doing homework.
Amazing.
Such a good guy. He always wears this fucking goofy Bass Pro fishing hat everywhere. I love that dude. Congrats, Satoshi-kun. Looks like you were able to buy it. His evil aunt had died and his wicked uncle was living with his mistress. Satoshi-kun succeeded in fulfilling his duty as a big brother by buying his little sister that huge teddy bear. There was nobody left to hurt him. He was free from his tiresome efforts. He was completely free from pain. It's 'cause he's dead. Over time, he'd retrieve his smile, and he'd go back to being the Satoshi-kun I love. But I wouldn't be there with him. Beep beep. I heard a car honking. I didn't think it was honking at me at first, but it was so persistent that I had to look up.
Whomst?
Ooishi. It's either Ooishi or,
Who drives cars?
Mion. No, it's Ooishi or fucking sex offender.
Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going too far?
Sex offender? I don't think he's offended. He may be a...
Is he a sex defender?
He defends Sadako, so...
The person waving at me from
Anybody
the car.
going after Sadako would have to go through him.
It is the sex defender, alright. The person waving at me from their car was Irie. He was waving at me all carefree, oblivious to my feelings.
Hello, Sanazaki-san! Long time no see. Oh, are you meeting up with Hojo-san?
No, I'm not.
I know he looks into that store's windows all the time, so I assumed you are expecting him here or something.
So what, does he think she's Mion? Or does he know? No, Coach doesn't know yet.
I don't think he knows now.
No, I'm just passing by. Looks like he was able to buy that teddy bear. Irie seemed to know about the teddy bear as well. He smiled upon seeing its empty display space.
Yesterday Satoko-chan. Yesterday was Satoko-chan's birthday. He must have celebrated it with that teddy bear.
He doesn't have to work so hard anymore, huh?
Indeed.
Did he turn in his resignation to the Hinamizawa fighters?
Oh, does that even exist? I never received one. Did you, Sonozaki-san?
No, I didn't.
So, that means he still belongs to the team. I think he'll be back after all the things have settled down. But, I know he'll be sad if he doesn't see you there.
Irie teased me. He's a grown-up after all. He must have been trying to sound optimistic because he knew how I was feeling deep down.
He's also a sex supporter.
Yo! Irie is all 3 MOBA classes, but for sex. He came back to the team
You can come back to this team anytime you want. It might be empty. It might as well be empty without you. I'm thinking of providing you with a maid costume once you come back.
I burst into laughter. Irie sure hadn't changed.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot. I can tell you my name now. Sorry, Coach. I was lying about my identity. I'm not Mion. I'm her twin sister, Shion. I've been pretending to be her for a few reasons.
Eh? What? You're Mion-san's twin sister?
He was totally taken aback. I burst into laughter again. Yes, I'm Shion Sonozaki. I'm forced to live quietly because my grandmother hates me, though.
I never realized that Mion-san had a twin sister.
Ooishi! That's my favorite character in the game.
Same here.
Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted us. The voice sounded mean and greasy, unlike Irie's. It was him, Ooishi.
It was me. Hello, Dr. Irie. Thank you for your cooperation last night. So to mention it, if I wasn't I wasn't of much help.
They were just going through the motions. It was obvious that they hated each other. Irie whispered to me.
I'm leaving. Satoko-chan, I'm leaving now. Do you want to get in my car? I can drive you home.
Irie figured that Ooishi was after me, so he was giving me a chance to slip away. Looking at Oishi's face, it was clear that his focus was on me, not Irie. He probably intended to interrogate me until my testimony broke. I was sure I could talk my way out of it, but it'd be a waste of time. All right, Coach, let's get going.
Oh, are you two going somewhere together? Fuck.
That's Rurusuke. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're on our way to get some stuff for the team. We have to drop by a few places, so will you excuse us?
Irie bowed. I followed suit. I had to admire how good he was at lying. He's a grown-up after all. Ooishi seemed to know it was a lie, but he didn't have a warrant, so he couldn't stop us. I moved to get into Irie's car.
How are your rooms, Shion Sonozaki-san?
Of course he knows. It's obvious he knows.
I mean,
it's Ooishi.
Yeah.
He knows everything. I gasped when I heard that. She also still has, the bandage on her left hand.
Yeah.
Shion walks around with a sign on her shirt that says, "My name is Shion." Then someone goes, "Nice to meet you, Shion." She's like, "Duh!
How did you know?
My left hand was bandaged. It was unsightly, so I'd kept it in my pocket. There was no way Ooishi could have been able to see it.
They'll heal with no problems if they don't get infected. I tore my fingernails off a couple times myself when I was a kid. But look, they look beautiful now, don't they?
He's so based. Men's fingernails shouldn't look beautiful. That gives me the creeps. Ooishi scratched his head and chuckled. He's supposed to be one of the best cops at Okinomiya PD, and he knows all about the underground activities in the region. He must have heard about my payment from somewhere. Still, that happened in the secret basement of the Sonozaki main house. I couldn't underestimate this guy's sources. Thank you for your kind words. We'll be going now. Excuse us.
Shion Sonozaki-san, why don't we get coffee together sometime?
What? Are you hitting on me?
if you like. My brother-son, if you like.
Oishi's so based. He's the best character. Sorry, time flies. I can't waste any of that precious time on things that don't interest me.
Oh, you got me there. How about this then? You can leave anytime if you get bored of talking to me. I won't stop you. How about that sound?
I don't mind you talking, but I won't talk back. I doubt you could call it a conversation.
Yeah. Those that'd be fine. You can just listen and I'll talk. You can just listen to an old man ramble while sipping on a cup of coffee.
He was being strangely persistent. It didn't look like he was trying to poke a hole in my statement. What would he even talk about? I got a bit curious, even though I was still skeptical. Coach, I think I'll go with the old man instead.
Me? Mio, I mean, Shion-san.
I winked at him and told him not to worry. Irie didn't insist. He got in his car and drove off. Ooishi backed his car up so I could get in. I hopped in the back seat since I didn't want to sit next to him. Shion just abducted herself. Are we really going to a cafe?
If you could direct me to one's no connection to your family, that'd be great.
Why don't you just take me to the station then? Ooishi carefully checked for oncoming traffic, then started driving. Ooishi took me to the police station, as I thought he might. If he had taken me to a nice cafe, he would have scored some points. But, whatever. Shion.
I thought it'd be more convenient if you came here. You can still go home if you get bored.
Humph. Try your best not to bore me then. Do you want me to go in the station hand in hand with you? Ooishi chuckled and got out of the car. He escorted me inside the station. I thought he'd take me to an interrogation room, but instead he took me to an office of the investigation division. Officers in both suits and uniforms were working at their desks, answering phones. There was a desk with a plate that said section manager, and nearby there were couches and a table. Ooishi told me to sit on the couch and started making some instant coffee. I'd never been to this part of the police station. I looked around in curiosity.
Did you think I'd take you to an interrogation room?
Ooishi brought over a tray with cups of coffee on it. You're treating me better than I expected. I thought you'd whip me or something.
My taste don't run that way.
I love Ooishi. So, I thought you wanted to talk.
Alright, I'll go to the chase. Are you in love with Satoshi Hojo-san?
He's so based, dude. Okay, cool. I fucking love Ooishi.
love Ooishi.
So much. He's so good. What? It's getting boring already. I'm going home.
No. Okay, please, forget that.
Ooishi must have known why I had to remove my fingernails. He wasn't trying to confirm that I liked Satoshi-kun. What he was really saying was that he knew already.
Wait. Come on, no.
What?
No, it's Shion and then Ooishi.
I already talked to Detective Kumagai about Satoshi-kun's alibi that day.
Of course. I read Kumagai-kun's report. I know you were with him.
I'll just repeat the same statement no matter how many times you ask. Don't think you can poke holes in it.
No, that's not what I want. You're a smart person. I know that wouldn't work on you.
I wonder what you're after. You're wasting your time if you want information on Satoshi-kun. There's nothing more to talk about. This is boring me after all. I'm going home. Since that was our agreement. Excuse me. I got up off the couch.
Shion-san, I did want to get Satoshi-san's alibi from you. I admit it.
That's it then. It's boring. I'm going home. I turned around and started walking. Ooishi didn't get anxious, but instead spoke a little louder.
But Shion-san, what I want to know, what I want to ask you is about his alibi for yesterday, not the day of the murder.
His alibi for yesterday? Why? What does that have to do with his aunt's death?
It's because Satoshi-kun has been missing since then.
What?
Didn't you know that he was missing?
I couldn't say anything, but my expression answered Oishi's question anyway. What's going on? Missing? What?
Why don't you take a seat?
What do you mean Satoshi-kun has gone missing? What the hell?
We only know one thing for sure. He withdrew all of his savings at an ATM in the Okinomiya post office before 3 p.m. yesterday. We don't know his whereabouts after that.
I know why he withdrew that money. He wanted to buy Sadako a birthday present. Yes, he definitely bought that teddy bear yesterday.
This is just my guess, but I think he scooted down with that money.
You mean he used the money to run away? That's stupid. He was saving to buy Sadako a birthday present. He bought a big expensive teddy bear from that toy store. He'd never use that money to skip town.
Yes, the most expensive teddy bear in that toy store was sold, but we can't confirm that it was Satoshi-kun who bought it.
Why don't you ask the clerk? Satoshi-kun and I reserved that teddy bear together. Oh, I had a bad feeling. That old man who was watching that store was sleeping when we were there. He looked very senile. Maybe he was also watching the store on that day, and even though Satoshi-kun bought the teddy bear, he didn't remember. Ooishi put on a wry smile. It looked like he'd already tried to question that old man. Anyway, it's Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. He must have saved just enough to buy it, so he shouldn't have been able to run away after. That's nonsense.
Alright, let's see. Let's say he really did buy the teddy bear. Then why did he come home with it?
I love
Negative Ooishi.
Negative Ooishi. Look at how evil he looks. Like, that doesn't, like, he looks much more friendly in this, right? But, like, he looks evil. Negative Ooishi looks like a fucking villain, dude.
It's a nightmare.
At that point, I felt as my heart had turned to ice. Satoshi-kun had been working hard to buy that teddy bear, even though he was under extreme mental and physical stress. After all that, he finally managed to buy it. It's unthinkable that somebody else just showed up and bought the same teddy bear. You know what I like? I'm sure I've brought this up before, and I'm sure listening through I've talked about this before. But you know what my favorite part about playing Higurashi is?
What's that?
I like to imagine all the characters look like their sprites, like these sprites.
Yeah?
And when they're walking around Hinamizawa, it's their sprites and then normal people.
I think you've discussed this before.
I'm sure I have, but that's
yeah,
how,
we have discussed this before because we talked about Spy Kids.
Yeah, but that's literally how I like imagine Hinamizawa. Like all the unsprited characters look like normal people, and then all the sprited characters are literally like 3D versions of their sprites. That's unironically in my head how I imagine the game. Yeah. So while they're sitting here on the couch, I'm just imagining 3D Ooishi and 3D Shion, and then a police department filled with normal people watching these two abnormal abominations
like
sit there and drink,
or some shit.
Sit there and like drink coffee. And I'm imagining they're like normal looking coffee cups as well. They don't even like they tone clash because they're like realistic coffee cups, and fucking Oishi's giant like 3D model hands reaching and like drinking coffee. It's a really fun way to think about this game. The teddy bear was gone because Satoshi-kun bought it, nobody else. But if so, Satoshi-kun should have given it to Sadako. But though he
My fault again. My fault.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Fuck. But though he bought a present for her, he didn't come home. He didn't come home? That wasn't possible. He would have gone straight home with that teddy bear. He wouldn't think of running away after buying the teddy bear. Even though Satoshi-kun wanted to run away from the police, he'd never leave without giving Sadako her present. Anyway, it must have been Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. I can say that with 100% certainty. The question was, why didn't he bring it home? That teddy bear was huge. It wouldn't fit into the basket of a bicycle. He might have bought some straps to tie it to his bike. He wouldn't have thought of running away on a wobbly bicycle like that. He necessarily had to go home after buying the teddy bear from the store after withdrawing the money. Nothing could have happened when he was going between the ATM and the toy store. It was impossible. Nobody else could have possibly bought that teddy bear. Never. That teddy bear had been sitting in the showcase up until that day. Everybody could see it when they passed by, but nobody wanted it. It's impossible that it could have been somebody else. There should be no question that he went to the store after he withdrew the money. What about the route between the store and his home? There shouldn't be any question there either. He shouldn't have been able to do anything with that huge toy. He shouldn't have even thought of making a stop on the way, so he must have headed home, right after he bought the teddy bear. But nobody saw him after that. It was simple then. Satoshi-kun went missing on his way home from the toy store. He went missing? What did that mean? I was sure he killed his aunt. He's not that shrewd. Maybe he couldn't bear the pressure from the police? Was he resigned to the idea that the police were going to arrest him soon, regardless of my help? Did he decide to run away? Did he think that he should disappear until things cool down rather than get arrested? That was definitely, absolutely impossible. It was impossible that he came to that conclusion on his way home from the toy store. Even if he did, he would have waited until he gave Sadako her birthday present. Satoshi-kun loved Sadako. He shouldn't have spoiled her like that, but anyway, he always tried to be a good brother to her. So he'd never disappear before going home. I felt as though ice was cutting through my heart, expanding the frost. If Satoshi-kun didn't disappear by his own will, the answer was simple. Satoshi-kun disappeared by somebody else's will. Was Satoshi-kun eliminated? That's really stupid, old man. I thought I could shake off the frost in my heart if I laughed loud enough. I kept laughing until it happened. I kept laughing and laughing.
Truly, gets so.
Yeah, Shion is deranged. All the cops in the room stared at me. They thought I'd gone crazy. I didn't care what they thought. I kept laughing until it turned into a cough. I finished laughing and took a sip of lukewarm coffee. I felt as though the frost in my heart had spread all through my guts. I was chilled to the bone. I was freezing. My fingers shook as I held the coffee cup.
Shion-san, please listen to me without interrupting. What I'm about to tell you is only a hypothesis. It's all just a theory. But you might start laughing in the middle because it may sound ridiculous. But I want you to hear me out. Can you do that?
Whatever. Just talk. I was feeling far too cold. My teeth were chattering. I felt as though my brain had frozen as well. I lost my ability to think. I couldn't do anything by myself. I could only do as Ooishi told me. What he was going to tell me might be the worst possible theory, but I had to listen to it. I was really hoping it'd just be that sound the whole time. To be like Shion's brain being cold that just goes like the whole time.
I know that Satoshi-kun and Sadako-san's aunt was abusing them, especially Satoko-san. In my opinion, it's normal that Satoshi-kun started thinking about murdering his aunt, because he was just a human being.
I had to deny that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but what Ooishi was saying was true. I couldn't deny his hypothesis right away. I just kept silent.
This is only a hypothesis, alright? Please don't get upset, and no interruptions, agreed?
I know. Just go on.
Satoshi Hojo plans the murder of his aunt and executed it. We have no proof, okay? It's all theoretical.
Alright. I heard. Just keep talking.
I'll switch the subject now. Shion-san, you are forbidden from having a relationship with Satoshi-kun, aren't you? As I told you to stay away from him, correct? I believe the reason behind that is not that your family hated the Hojos, but that they didn't like the fact that you were involved with the murder suspect.
That is actually possible. After all, when I was pretending to be Mion, I already had a connection with Satoshi-kun. Before anyone knew it was Shion who was spending time around him. I could have been accused when I was helping out the Hinamizawa fighters if the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis was the problem. It wouldn't be difficult for the Sonozaki family to know that Satoshi-kun murdered his aunt if it happened in Hinamizawa. Maybe one of them even saw the murder. The Sonozaki family didn't like that I was in love with a murderer. They decided to step in.
Also, you'll know not to give up easily, aren't you? Which means, even if the Sonozaki family threatened you or ripped off your nails, you still wouldn't cut ties with Satoshi-kun, would you?
I couldn't deny that. I lost most of my means to access Hinamizawa, so my ties with Satoshi-kun were essentially cut, true. But I still knew Satoshi-kun's phone number, and I expected him to rejoin the Hinamizawa fighters eventually.
I believe your family knew that the few threats would never be enough for you to break ties with Satoshi-kun. They could threaten you all day, all they liked, to no avail. So, the only option would be to do something to the other person, wouldn't it?
Ooh, what do you mean by do something? What would they do? What? What? If threatening me was useless, then they'd do something about Satoshi-kun. What would they have done? If they pulled something, then wouldn't that interrupt his path from the toy store to home? Toy store to home. I said story. Like the movie? Toy store to X to home. What's X? What is X? X marks the spot where his path was interrupted. But what interrupted it? Why couldn't Satoshi-kun make it home from the toy store if something interrupted him? Why? 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 What's X? X! This fucking... I broke it again.
He broke his fucking chair again.
Yeah. I ran out of air, became dizzy, and then collapsed. The floor felt cold. I felt no pain. I had fallen to the floor just like a plastic doll. Ooishi and some others rushed over to me and helped me up.
Calm down, Shion-san. We're not certain that Satoshi-kun was killed yet.
You're not certain he was killed? What the fuck are you talking about? Don't you know about the torture room where they forced me to rip off my fingernails? Don't you know that they say there are prison cells and a well for disposing of corpses in the back? If the Sonozaki family wants to eliminate somebody, they definitely kill them in that torture room and dump the body down there. You're not certain? Are you dumb? Is your brain made of tofu? If I were in the hag's position, I'd kill him for sure. I wouldn't let him get away. If I would kill him, then the hag would definitely kill him.
You're not the hag.
True.
Shion-san, please, calm down. This is unconfirmed, but I have information that somebody witnessed a young runaway male at Nagoya Station, who took a train there from Tokyo. From there to Tokyo. The clothes didn't match, but it is possible that he changed what he was wearing to hide from the police. It's still possible that it was him.
Is he alive? Is he?
This is also my theory, but let me go on. Your twin sister, Mion-san, is the closest person to Oryo Sonozaki, correct? I'm assuming that Mion-san stopped Oryo, but she suggested murdering Satoshi-kun furtively.
Mion? That was possible. She could have tried to calm things down out of pity for me. That idiot was always so indecisive. She should have been clear on if she wanted to save him or not, but she probably seemed vague about that. She must have persuaded the hag to reduce the punishment to banishment instead of death, just to avoid feeling guilty.
I believe that the Sonozaki family contacted Satoshi-kun. They probably hit... I feel like it's been off this entire time. They probably told him that they wouldn't cover up the murder and told him to disappear somewhere far away. They forced him to be more accurate.
Satoshi-kun would have rejected that. He would never leave Sadako behind.
I agree with you. Satoshi-kun was working at the places Mion-san referred him to, wasn't he? So, the family knows that he had enough money for a getaway.
But he'd never use it for anything other than buying that teddy bear.
You're right. He must have gone straight to the toy store after he threw the money, but what if the teddy bear was already sold when he got there?
This is a very Sonozaki way to do things.
You say so.
That would have been a very desolate situation. He'd been working hard. While his aunt abused him, he worked at many different jobs. The money was worth all that pain. He went to the toy store with that money in order to buy his beloved sister a present. That was the only purpose for that money. He must have looked for the teddy bear he'd always done, but it was gone. He wouldn't have gone into a panic right away, because he was always so optimistic. He might have thought the store was wrapping the gift for him, because he told them that he'd pick it up that day. He must have gone into the store joyously. I couldn't guess at exactly what happened next. My heart would tear up if I tried to imagine it anyway. Why didn't they have it? Even though he had it reserved. Did that old man understand the situation? Or was he just zoning out? Maybe it would have been the same even if it wasn't that old man at the store at the time. If a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family went in and showed them the money, nobody could have rejected it. Satoshi-kun must have sunk into silence. No matter how hard he complained, the teddy bear was gone. He probably never even considered that his dream might be taken away. He must have been wobbling his way home in sorrow, leaning on telephone poles every now and then. It was the day he wanted Sadako to be happy the most. He couldn't get the present she wanted the most. He probably didn't think of getting another gift, because it was unimaginable that he couldn't get that teddy bear. He must have imagined how Sadako would react when she found out he had no present for her. He must have looked unbelievably sad and empty. The money he'd been saving meant nothing anymore. Satoshi-kun never cried, even at his toughest moments. Did he even know how to cry? It was always Sadako who was crying, so Satoshi-kun never learned how to cry, and he grew up that way. Did you know? People shed sadness from their hearts with tears. Satoshi-kun wasn't even allowed to do that. Even though his heart was filled with sorrow, he couldn't let it out. Yeah.
You insisted he wouldn't leave Satoko-sama behind, didn't you? But think, what if Sonozaki family told him that they'd look after her what if Sonozaki family told him that they'd look after her after his disappearance?
After Satoshi-kun found out the teddy bear was gone, all he had left were some crumpled bills. The family told him it was just a matter of time before the police got to him. They told him to run away. They said they'd take care of Sadako. Satoshi-kun didn't feel like seeing his sister. He wandered and found himself at Okinomiya Station. He must have been apologizing to Sadako so many times in his head. He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagoya and then to Tokyo. That meant he's alive. He's alive. I should be able to see him again someday. He must be coming back, so I'll definitely see him again.
I assume that the Sonozaki family set up some place for him to stay. Satoshi-kun must have gone there.
So, he's safe. He's coming back someday, right? Ooishi looked up at the ceiling and stretched. He didn't answer me.
On June 24th, 1982, Satoshi Hojo went missing. There is a possibility that he ran away, as he was a prime suspect of the murder that happened on the 20th of the same month. Allegedly, someone resembling him was seen at Nagoya Station embarking on a train heading to Tokyo, but the truth is unknown. No one has seen him since. As a matter of fact, no one even knows if he's still alive.
I was gonna say I didn't hit anything. It did that on its own. Okay. I'm
Well.
gonna ask you one spoiler question.
What do you think of their thesis? Yeah.
I just want you to say yes or no. That's all you have to say. Do you actually learn what happened to Satoshi?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Because I'm like, I am going to be pissed. I am going to be so angry.
You
If-
won't know until like. You won't know for a long time.
That's fine. That's okay. I was just
Oh.
gonna say, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
fucking pissed if that's it. And like, that's it with Satoshi, and they don't tell you anything else after that. And it's literally just up to you on whether or not you decide, like, the Sonozakis killed him, or like, you know, he actually went to the train station in Nagoya.
The thing is about.
I'll just fix this.
I've always said like Higurashi gives you the answers and Mineko doesn't give you the answers, but like most everything has like a hint or something pointing to what
Actually
is actually going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
think their thesis is very fair game.
it's like it's interesting that both Ooishi and Irie were at that toy store at the same time, right?
Yeah, because they're... I would assume... It's interesting that all three of them are there at the same time.
Right.
That Irie, Shion, and Ooishi are all at the same toy store looking for Satoshi at the same time. Irie knows he's missing because Irie lives in Hinamizawa.
Does he? Well, does he know he's missing? Maybe not. No.
I say that because Shion talks about how great Irie is at lying.
Because
on.
he's an adult. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, you know, we talked about the doctor thing last time we recorded. So I would not say it's too far of a stretch for me to say I think Irie knows that he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's
true.
just trying to keep
Sure.
Shion's energy up. Because if you notice, he immediately goes, Shion, get in the car, let's get the fuck out of here. Which leads me even further to believe that he knows Satoshi is missing. Because he knows Ooishi is going to tell Shion that Satoshi is missing. Because everybody knows.
That was an interesting like choice there for her too. Because like if you
It
think
is.
in that
No,
way,
it is.
it's like Shion doesn't know this, but she's making the choice of who to hear the news from.
Yes.
From fucking Ooishi, who that doesn't go well most of the time.
No.
Or Irie,
Who I'm sure could have, like, eased her into it a little bit, right?
like
Or just lied.
she fucking had a fucking manic breakdown here,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And who knows how Irie would she would have reacted if Irie talked to her about it.
If this was an option game, that was, like, the biggest option I've ever seen to option in a fucking visual
That was the
novel.
biggest setup for
That
a
is-
fucking prompt.
Yes.
Go with Ooishi, go with Irie.
Yes. No, but I think Irie knows 100%. 110% he knows.
Okay.
100%. But I think that's very, very interesting, as you said, that they're all there at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And on one hand, because Ooishi was there for Shion, so with Ooishi, and I'm sure Irie and Ooishi were not there for Satoshi.
Right.
They were there to get to Shion first. That is why they were both there. That is what I think. Because Ooishi clearly was there for Shion. Because he knows the nails were gone, he knows yada yada yada, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think both of them were 100% there for Shion. Or sorry, I think Ooishi was there for Shion, Irie was there for Satoshi. That's what I'm gonna go with. Because or maybe Irie knows.
Maybe.
Because he's good at lying. So I can't trust anything he says. Ryukishi would not have made a specific point to call out
Oh
how
my god,
good
you're finally
he
doing
is at
it!
lying.
You're
I told
doing
you,
it!
I told you. Look, we're on like game 5 or whatever, right? Like,
Ooishi would not have said he's good at lying if he did not want you to think about the fact that he's good at lying.
Ryukishi? Oh yeah, no, because this is Oishi's book.
Did I say Ooishi?
You did say Oishi. Which means you subscribe to my headcanon that all of these are just Oishi's novel. They're just fucking
I was thinking about
Akasaka.
that the little typing section at the end. It's like, this is kind of like when Oishi's...
They're all Akasaka and Oishi's novels that they wrote
We should
together.
really just be reading this in Ooishi and Akasaka's voice.
The whole game.
The whole game.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have fucking said that if it's not relevant. Because there was like whole point about
Oh
that.
man, you're almost ready for Minako. This is feeling... I'm getting ready.
We're getting there. I'm getting there.
Now you just have to rewatch all of the question arcs again.
But yeah, I don't... Irie is on the top of my perpetrator list now. He's on the top of my Among Us Red crewmate sus list.
He is a part of the mafia. Okie dokie.
He is.
We got
I don't
notebook page
trust him.
34 and 42.
More like 40 poo. He high-fived me. He just did it really light so that you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I did like this.
Yeah. The information that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo hasn't been verified. It started as follows. A young man came to the lost and found window looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write his name on a form. Interesting. When the young man started writing Hojo as his name, he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form, and wrote on a totally different name on another form. Another station employee witnessed a similar-looking young man rushing into the train heading to Tokyo. The employees from Lost and Found and the employee who was on the platform talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That was all. The wallet of the man named Hojo was never reported as found to Lost and Found's office.
Any thoughts? Anything on there?
Interesting.
How reliable do you think that is?
I'll go out of 10, like an 8. Because why would they lie? They don't have a reason to. They're just jobber-ass station employees. If I was working at Domino's and someone came in, went to give me their name, and they stopped and said, I actually will go with this, I'd be like, all right, you fucking wacko. And I'll just move on, right? Like, it doesn't, like, their job doesn't change depending on what name he gives, you know? Interesting. Interesting. I want to know what his fake name was, though.
42.
Was it Tomatake Flash? At first, I thought Oishi's theory that the Sonozaki family banished Satoshi-kun from Hinamizawa and looked after Sadako in return was bogus. But thinking about it now, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. And that's it. It just ends. After all, Sadako Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Rika Furude isn't just a regular girl. She was the head of the Furude family, one of the 3 families. The head of the Kimiyoshi family is Rika Furude's guardian. The Sonozaki family probably couldn't step in, due to have been officially opposed to the Hojo family, but Sadako Hojo is in the custody of the 3 families now. Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized during the dam conflict, Sadako Hojo was now under protection. It seems as though only Sadako was exempted from blame. Why was she spared, even though Satoshi-kun wasn't? More very interesting things to digest on. You want to save real quick?
I will save.
I don't know,
Save.
Shion's got a point, though.
Yeah.
You know? About... We at least know that them protecting Sadako part isn't bullshit. You know, she lives with Furude. Heavily implied in Tatanagoroshi that they were gonna, kill his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Or kill her uncle, sorry. Because we're talking about Sadako, not Satoshi. Heavily implied they were going to kill Teppei already for the Watanagashi, you know?
Sure. It's interesting. Yeah, you'd have... In order to work with that theory, you would have to figure out these things, yes.
To work with the theory, here's what I'm thinking. If you want to go with Satoshi-kun ran away, right? The questions you ask is why they let him go. As Shion said, why Sadako was exempt. And honestly, what name he took up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Those are my big three.
Interesting.
Because we know how he got out. Took train.
Oh, yeah.
Duh. Had money. Duh. I guess where he went as well, obviously. But that's one of those, like, you know, everyone wants to know where he went, right? But no, I think the big ones you gotta ask is why they let him go. And I guess why nothing happened to Sadako. And, like, why they're protecting Sadako. Because it very easily could be influenced from Mion, because Mion had a connection with Satoshi and has a connection with Sadako.
Before, like, you try to answer those questions, though, you kind of have to make, because you're kind of working on, in order to answer those questions, you have to be confident that the fact that, like, he was banished or ran away, that those are facts, right?
Yeah,
or he's
well,
dead.
yeah,
right?
Of course, yeah. That's
so, like, the main thing we're looking for here is evidence to say that he is run away or disappeared.
Yeah. As I said, working with the hypothesis that, okay, he did run away, obviously means he's alive, yada, 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 whatever. But as of this point in time right now, the question is still, is he alive? Which is the question every single time relating to Satoshi.
Yeah.
Because Keiichi usually just assumes that he gets killed, that he's a victim of the curse, yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
But every single time Satoshi's name comes up, the question is Satoshi alive? And that's obviously the big one you have to answer. Because if he's dead, duh. If he's alive, then where is he? Like, how did he get there? Whatever. It's very interesting. I've been liking this one a lot. This has been really good.
Okie dokie.
I like Satoshi, but I also like that, like, it's answering things, I guess. But also it's, like, still mysterious about it, you know? It's not, hey, here's this scene, here's the answer, here's, you know. It still feels like the question arcs. It just feels less vague than the question arcs.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy a lot.
We're getting it from an issue perspective, especially from Shion, where she is an insider-ish to the Sonozaki family. So there's a lot of information that you think she would be privy to that she should be privy to, right? Or that, like, she can get a hold of through either, like, Mion or Kasai.
And there's a lot of very interesting things you learn about the Sonozaki family. Right.
The punishment ritual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it...
I have some thoughts on it, but I need to wait a little bit longer to say them.
That's fair. Shion being the main character, I was kind of like, okay, question mark, to start this, but it makes so much sense now. It's just...
She's, at the same time, an insider and an outsider.
Yes. And so she runs the perfect line of being able to answer some questions without answering others. I do really like Shion as the main character here. But I also think it's very interesting if you go with the perspective under everything before when Onikakushi starts. As in, like, the day Keiichi transfers him, whatever. Is the same. And it only changes when Keiichi gets there.
Right.
I think that's a very, very... That's how I'm looking at the game. It's because I think that is an incredibly interesting perspective. is that everything occurs the same way leading up to when Keiichi gets there, and Keiichi's the wild card, right? And I think that is a shit ton of fun to look at this game that way. Because that's... Don't worry about it.
Did it finally pop
No.
back in?
Wait,
or
did
did you
it?
actually break it?
No.
Oh, no.
No, I bumped against this thing right here. But I'm just gonna hold it out here while I finish talking. No, I think like the most interesting way to look at this game is that everything that happens consistently until Keiichi gets there. And then once Keiichi gets there, that's when the wild card comes in, like information changes.
All right.
Because we kind of learned that across the questions arc anyways.
Yeah, Keiichi's a real wild card.
Yeah. And also that like things kind of occur the same way every single time until Keiichi gets there. Akasaka's still the best character. I know I love Ooishi, but Akasaka's up there.
Okie dokie.
What a good ass fucking chapter, dude.
Got tortured.
We got fingernail.
We got depressed.
Yep.
We talked to Ooishi.
Yep.
All good things.
We got to see Irie.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see Satoshi though. What's the point?
That's the point.